Yo, what's up? What's up? This is your man Thatch the Great checking in once again with another video, and let's get straight to it. Well, actually, before we even get into the subject matter of this video, I just want to give a big thank you to all the people out there who have subscribed to the channel. I have just passed the 1,000 subscriber mark, and I'm so grateful for all your support. My channel's growing fast, and I'm just gonna keep on doing my thing, and I'm just gonna keep providing the real. So I once again just want to say thank y'all. But anyways, this video is the third video in this series of me reacting to Passport Bro videos, and I told y'all I was gonna find another video from Travelversity where he's actually talking about the women, and I think this is going to be exactly what we're looking for. The title is "Why I Picked Thailand Over Colombia and Brazil. How are the women different?" So this should do exactly what I needed to do. So let's go ahead and click the play button and get straight into it. And I'll give y'all my commentary and let y'all know what I think about what this dude says. All right, let's get it.
No. Me gusta, me gusta, me gusta.
Overseas, couple G's and expenses. Gotta get it, I've been different since the entrance.
What we making today?
Huh?
What we making today?
Pad Thai.
Pat moo?
Mm-hmm.
What is it? What is pat
Pad bun sen sai khai.
moo? It's like noodles, right?
Yeah, noodle, you see?
Okay. We're gonna see what's going on with it, man. Y'all, Lucky was reading them comments, man. Y'all in there boosting her head up. Talking about, oh, she was in America. If she was in America, she wouldn't be doing that. She would be trying to get with athletes and celebrities. Y'all boosting her head up. I just want y'all to know, man. No offense to you brothers, but I'm not new to this. I'm true to this, man. This is just my prototype right here. This is what I do.
That's his prototype. Damn, bro. You really not used to getting no bad women at all.
Some of us just did not live in the same reality in America, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like, I understand there's a problem in the States. I'm not gonna say that you're gonna get that often, but this ain't the first one I had like this, bro.
Yo, I'm sorry. I did not want to have to stop it this early, but this dude really thinks this chick is bad. In his world, this is actually a bad chick to him. This is crazy. This is crazy. She's average, bro. I'm sorry to tell you. If nobody else told you, let me tell you, bro. Let Thatch tell you. This chick is average as hell, bro. She's just another girl walking down the street here in Duval County. Seriously. But let's keep it moving.
It's not.
Pad bun sen sai khai.
Pat boom sing saikai.
Yeah.
So this is that Pat boom sing saikai.
Good for young people.
See, that don't look
Good for young
appetizing to
people?
me.
Yeah, because not spicy.
It's good for young people because it's not spicy, I guess. And there's some pork in here, right?
Mother like to cook for baby.
Okay, the mothers like to cook it for the babies.
Not spicy and taste good.
We're gonna see what's up with it though, man. See if it tastes good. There's pork in here, right?
Pork and egg.
Pork and egg.
Noodle.
And
I'm
noodles.
straight.
So we're gonna see what's up with it.
I'm straight on that, shorty.
About to grab me a drink real quick. So, I'm about to grab me a little drink, man. Sip on something, man. It's Monday afternoon. Might as well, right? Show y'all a little my need for speed on this bike, too.
Okay. That shit look like a motor scooter, bro. But hey, do your thing, my boy.
Don't be alarmed, because they got soy dogs all over the place. Now, if it get late, if you come across one of them, they might try to bite you. But during the daytime, they usually cool. I would say,
Skip ahead.
just don't pet them. All right, so what we got going on here is she got some raw beef in here. Y'all see that, right? And she just raw beef and lettuce.
Tastes so good.
Tastes so good.
And this is the type of chicks you be messing with over there. This chick is
That's,
eating raw beef.
Call that salmonella where I'm from. Today we're gonna chat a
What
little
you think
bit
she's
about
serving you, bro?
why I chose Thailand, or why I chose to live in Thailand.
Yeah, tell me why you
over
live in Thailand,
Brazil and Colombia. So, I love all of these places. I definitely love all these places. It's not one that I would say is, better
than the other, because I don't really believe any place is better than anywhere else. I just believe you all have different experiences, and that all these places are beautiful in their own right. But I'm gonna go into why I would to be based here more as opposed to being based in Brazil or in Colombia. So first, we're gonna go off of the cost of living. So I recently saw an article that showed all the places for digital nomads that were the best places to live. And Chiang Mai, Thailand, which I will be checking out soon because I am interested in maybe living there one day, was number one on that list. Cost of living in Thailand is very, very low. Like compared to Colombia and Brazil, it's very low, man. You can get apartments here, decent sized apartments here for $200. There are places even you can get for less if you're okay, either living in a smaller space or, you know, somewhere a little further out. You can get places for $150. Food is also cheaper, which I'm going to get into food later. But food you can eat for $1, $2, $3 sometimes. If you want to go to restaurants, you can do that too. But if you want to eat like Thai food, you can get that for very cheap out here. So in Rio, you know, if you want to live close to the beach, I know there's probably parts of Brazil where you can live for cheap, but if you want to be in Rio, you want to be in Sao Paulo, you're going to be spending a lot more money. I was paying about $800 a month, and when I was living on Copacabana and Ipanema, I was paying $800, $900 a month while living there. And not saying you can't get something cheaper, but Rio, Sao Paulo, like, there's some pretty expensive cities. So you're going to...
That just comes with the territory, you know. Any place that is more of a popular tourist attraction, you're just going to end up paying more. So he's talking about Rio, even though I heard Rio de Janeiro is still majority slum lands. It's some nice parts from what I've been told from several people in Rio. I'm going to check it out one day. But I've heard it's actually pretty, it's pretty much the slums when you get outside a certain radius in the city. It's nice in a little part, and then once you get outside of that radius, it's kind of the slumlands from what I've been told. I'm going to find out myself personally one day, but that's what I've heard. But anyways, basically he's saying that was far more expensive than Thailand, which is where he's at now.
Spend a lot more. Now, the cost of living in Brazil is still way lower than it is in the States for what you're getting, but comparing it to Thailand, it's not even comparable. Colombia, I would say, is cheaper than even Brazil. In Colombia, you could live a little bit cheaper than you can in Brazil. But still, for Thailand, I think that these apartments are better quality apartments for a cheaper price. So even there, Thailand still wins over Medellin. But Medellin is cheaper than Rio. Those two places are still significantly less than if you living in the States, if you living in like a major city in the States. So you still can live cheaper than you living in the States, but if you compare it to Thailand, I personally think Thailand is probably one of the cheapest countries in the world to live in, so it's kind of hard to beat it on cost of living. Next, we're going to get into the language. So as far as the language is concerned, in Thailand, most people are speaking English. At least in Bangkok, Phuket, Pattaya, a lot of places in Thailand, people speak English. So, and it's a big expat community out here, really big expat community. So a lot of the cities where you would probably live in, there's going to be an expat community there. A lot of people will speak English, which in Brazil and in Colombia is not necessarily the case. In Brazil, you're going to find some people that speak English, but most people are not going to speak English. In Colombia, most people are not going to speak English. Like, you rarely going to run into Colombians that speak English. Some of them do, but 90+% of them is not going to be speaking English. That's another reason why I picked Thailand over Brazil and Colombia, because there you have to learn a new language, whereas here you can speak English and you can learn Thai if you want.
Just a quick side note, y'all. If I'm traveling to a foreign land, just me personally, I would already have done some of the side work as far as learning the language, at least enough where I can have a decent conversation with the natives. That's just me personally. If I'm going to Colombia, I'm going to be fluent in Espanol, you know what I'm saying? And just, fun fact, I actually am not quite fluent in Espanol, but I'm pretty good. I'd say I'm intermediate level. My ex-girlfriend was actually Costa Rican, so I know quite a bit of Spanish. Anyways, like I was saying, if I'm going to a foreign country, especially if I'm going to do what these dudes are doing and actually live there, I'm going to put the work in, and I'm actually going to put the effort forward as far as actually learning the language. At least try my best to get acclimated enough where I can have a conversation with the locals and actually not stand out like a sore thumb. But that's just me personally. I'm just one of those people that always tries to go that extra mile and make sure that I'm prepared for anything that I do. But anyways, that's just me. Let's keep it moving.
But you can get by on English because everybody almost speaks English here. But in Brazil and in Colombia, you're going to have to invest in the language. You're going to have to invest in learning Portuguese. You're going to have to invest in learning Spanish. Now, I spent about 5-6 months in Medellin, and I was pretty decent at Spanish. Pretty good at learning languages when I apply myself. So I was pretty good at Spanish. And then when I got to Brazil, I didn't stay there as long. I was there for about 3 months. But I was pretty good at Portuguese too, like enough to get by, like enough to do the basics of what I needed to do. I just found in Thailand it's way easier to connect with the people when you can speak English. Even in Africa, I was able to speak English, and that was a big plus for me too. And I'm gonna do some other videos on Africa. But in Brazil and Colombia, you really can't speak English as much. You're gonna have to learn a new language. If you can do that, then you can do it. If it's going to be hard for you to learn a new language, then those might be places that you might have a problem in. If you're able to learn new languages, you're going to apply yourself, then you'll be good once you're able to speak the language. So the language is another reason why I chose Thailand over Brazil and Colombia. So now we're going to get into what I probably think is the most important, and what was a big factor for me is going to be the safety, man. The safety and time.
Okay, well, pleasantly, I'm surprised. I thought this fool was about to say that the women was his primary motivator. So, good. Safety was your primary motivation, which is still a little odd for that to be your primary reason as far as where you chose. But I get it. You got to be safe. You got to know how to move wherever you go.
Thailand compared to Brazil and Colombia is complete 360. Thailand is really safe. It's a really safe country. Do things happen in Thailand? I mean, of course they do. But for the most part, Thailand is pretty safe. In Brazil, especially in Colombia, the safety is not all the way there. In Colombia, you're for sure going to have to be on your toes. You're going to be on your P's and Q's. You got to be looking around. When you go to the ATM, make sure you're looking around. You got to be careful with the women out there. You just got to be aware of your surroundings at all times, man, in Colombia. In Brazil, it's not as bad. To me, in the tourist areas, Brazil is not as bad as Colombia. Brazil has a heavy police presence in the tourist area. I felt safe walking around Brazil in Copacabana and Ipanema and all that really late at night, whereas I wouldn't have did that in Parqueira in Medellin or even in Cartagena. I wouldn't have felt safe doing that. In Brazil, you kind of feel safer doing it, but Brazil's still not sweet either. It's not a sweet country either. Thailand, on the other hand, is very safe, man. You could walk around counting money. Nobody gonna really bother you out here in Thailand like that.
See, the vibe I get from this dude is that he kind of grew up in the suburbs, because let's say you grew up in the hood. You know, it's just certain things you learn off top when you grow up in the hood, or not necessarily even growing up in the hood, but when you grow up and you actually become streetwise, you know to keep your head on the swivel. You know how to move. You know what things not to do. This clown talking about walk around counting money out in the open. I don't know where they do that at. Because I don't care how safe I think a location is. I would never do that, because that's how you end up looking sweet. You end up looking like food. It's always somebody out there that's hungry, and you out and about counting your money, all happy-go-lucky. You look like food, nigga. You sound crazy, bro. But I don't know. He might end up having to learn the hard way, unfortunately. I hope not.
It's just not really how the people are. Like, nobody gonna really bother you out here in Thailand like that. It's just not really how the people are. Like, the chances of somebody running down on you with a gun in Thailand are like slim to none that is gonna happen.
Okay.
Like, you see, like, people say, "Oh, don't wear chains and all that," but like, Thailand is okay. They sell gold all around here. People wear jewelry here. And it's not like Brazil or Colombia where you gonna get ran down on if you wearing, you know, a chain, or if you wearing just some earrings, like not iced out, but if you wearing something subtle. In Colombia, I would never wear jewelry. Like, it's almost a guarantee you gonna get robbed. In Brazil, maybe not, but it's still not the best idea. I wouldn't do it in Brazil.
Bro, we get it.
I also
pussy.
understand
we
the
get
difference
it.
in the
We
place.
get it,
so
bro.
where I wouldn't do it in some places, you know, it's more safe. So you
talk
can
about
do
the women.
it.
That's what.
And Thailand is one of those places, man. Thailand is way safer, and that is a big thing for a lot of guys, especially if you're looking for somewhere to live. You want to be safe, man. You don't want to feel like you can get ran up on at any moment, or if you have a female guest, you got to worry about getting robbed, and you don't really got to worry about that in Thailand. So I would say the safety is a...
I don't have to worry about that at all, because see, that's the thing. It's a lot of nonverbal social cues that people pick up on. Masculine frame is one of those things. Men know who to test and who not to test. It's just certain body language. It's just the way a man carries himself, the way he moves. Other dudes can pick up on it. They know who, this might not go so well for me if I try this dude. They can tell. They can pick up on that. So the fact that he seems so apprehensive about that is a little odd to me. But I don't know. Everybody, you know, like I say, everybody's different. Maybe he doesn't have the best masculine frame. Maybe he doesn't carry himself as a very masculine dude. Maybe he's more of a, you know, jokester. Maybe he's more of a clown ass dude. I don't know. Anyways, let's keep it moving. We'll see. Let's see what else he says. I really want him to get to the part where he's talking about the women, because as y'all recall from the last video, I wanted to get into his mindset and see what he finds attractive, because he made it seem like certain women were just so much more attractive one place than the other. So I'm hoping he gets into that soon.
Big aspect of why I choose Thailand over those other two. So I'm also going to use this opportunity to go over how the women are different in these countries.
Here we go.
So for me personally, if we talking physical looks, just straight physical looks, I'm going to have to say probably Brazil was my favorite country, because they kind of just had more of the type of woman that I would prototypically like. We'll say as far as physical appearance, I'm going to take Brazil as number one, and then Colombia number two. Thailand might not be my favorite choice as far as physical appearance of the women. But I will say, in Brazil and in Colombia, you're going to have to learn.
I just want to take a brief second to recap. The two women he just showed were just extra regular, extra average women. Nothing special, not the worst, and definitely not the best. But he felt the need to show them as, you know, sterling examples of what is exemplified in these places. So if that was the best from what he could recall, that's alarming. But let's continue.
Learn the language. That is going to prevent you, if you're not really good at a language, that's going to prevent you from really be able to get a real connection, because it's like, how much of a connection could you really build over translate? And I was pretty decent at Spanish and Portuguese, and for me, it was still hard for me to really get in deep conversation, because I only knew surface level, you know? So if you get to the point where you can speak the language really good or fluently, then I think you'll have a way better time. But in Thailand, for instance, I don't have to do that. Like I said before, with the English portion of this video, I can speak English and I could joke around. You know, me and Lucky joke around a lot. Here, you can joke around with the girls. You know, you can have fun. You can laugh. You can really talk to them because y'all both speak English, so you can really talk. As in Brazil and Colombia, you might not get that because you might not be fluent enough in the language in order to really have a conversation with a chick. So that's why I would still probably pick Thailand over, because there's still some beautiful women in Thailand. They might not be as much of my type as there will be in Brazil or Colombia, but you can still find a beautiful chick here and you can speak English to them. And also in Brazil and Colombia, as far as the safety aspect of this video as well, you got to remember, in Colombia, you have to really be careful with the women out there. Now, that's not all the women in Colombia and Brazil. Like, all the women in Colombia aren't out here drugging and robbing dudes. I knew some really good women in Colombia that were chilling. They weren't thinking about that. I knew girls that worked at supermarkets that was chilling, but they wasn't on that type of time. So all women in Colombia are not like that, But there are a lot that are, and they do see you as an opportunity, especially when they know you're not going to be there forever. If a chick know you live somewhere, she's less likely to try you because she know you probably going to see her again somewhere. Still got to make sure you're careful. And
see, I was with him until he said that last part. If a chick identifies you as a lame mark, a dude that she can take advantage of, extract resources from, and skedaddle, she's going to do that. She doesn't give a damn how long you're going to be in her city or whatever. If she knows that you're down there, especially if she could tell that you're down there just to have fun, then she absolutely has no reason not to try to take advantage of you. In fact, she has incentive to try to get as much as she can get out of you as quickly as possible and keep it moving to the next John or to the next dude. And I say John because let's keep it real, y'all. A lot of these dudes, a lot of these passport bros are tricking. That's just the fact. That's just the bottom line. A lot of these dudes are paying for pussy in these different locations and different places that they're traveling to. Just if for nothing else, just to expedite the process of getting sex. Even though it should be simple enough when you go into these countries, honestly. But I know there's a lot of dudes that are just paying for sex, and that's lame in itself. Anyways, women are always going to take advantage of you if you make it clear that you are able to be taken advantage of. So always keep your head on a swivel. Always cover your ass, bro. Seriously. Always be careful with the way you move, especially when you're in foreign territory. That's the best way I could put it. Let's keep it moving. Let's keep it going.
Colombia, especially if you're in Medellin, especially if you're using Tinder. Those girls, they like sharks in the water, man. So you gotta really be careful out there.
They can see a mark coming a mile away.
Don't usually have to worry about in Thailand. And as far as Brazil is concerned, Brazil, there were instances where I heard of women taking stuff from dudes or stuff like that, but it wasn't as heavy as Medellin. So in Brazil, you're more likely to be able to move around without too many problems. The women there are probably less likely to try to rob you as well. You gotta be careful everywhere, but South America, man, you just gotta make sure you watching yourself out there. I think that the language situation makes it way easier, and a lot of people don't even understand how big of a part language plays in building a relationship with the opposite sex. And you know, when you're able to speak your native language, it's way easier. So that's another reason why I would choose Thailand over Colombia and Brazil.
Overseas, couple G's and expenses.
I must say, y'all, I'm actually kind of disappointed. I was actually expecting him to get a little bit deeper into it as far as why the women were more attractive, but he didn't. Anyways, this was still an interesting video nonetheless, and I gave my commentary already, but you know, it was very interesting as far as what his reasons were for why he decided Thailand was the best place that he has lived out of all the countries he's been to. But you know, I'm not going to down the brother. You know, if this is what's working for him, more power to him. You know, I just cannot see that being a lifestyle that I could subscribe to. You know, I'm just thriving and flourishing too much in the States, and I'm having no issues with women here. I'm having no issues, you know, living comfortably here. So I just see no reason to move thousands and thousands and thousands of miles away to have a better life. You know, I'm thriving here. But that's just me personally. What are y'all's thoughts? Let me know in the comments. Once again, I want to thank everyone for getting me to 1,000 subscribers so quickly. It's only been a few months and I'm already over 1,000, and I'm going to just keep going full speed ahead. Thank y'all so much. It's your man Pt.2. I'm gonna holler at y'all. Peace.